if Caitlin Clark is the quote-unquote savior, if she's the golden girl, milk it.
Caitlin Clark is clearly a catalyst for a business that was, and let's be honest, Caitlin to some degree financially saved the WNBA. It was hemorrhaging money for years.
Reality is knocking on the door of the porta potty. The truth is finally coming to the light. The same light that is going to be dimming here in about 12 hours.
Let's put this in its proper perspective. When I think about Caitlin Clark, the operative word that comes to my mind is gratitude.
Like a rising tide lifts all boats in swimming, so too does a generational talent in every sports league arise, changing the game and uplifting everyone around them. In baseball, this was Babe Ruth for women's MMA, and in boxing, it was Michael Phelps for Muhammad Ali. Ronda Rousey took over while Serena Williams dominated women's tennis during the NBA's darkest days. Larry Bird and Magic Johnson brought the league back to life, and then came Michael Jordan. As we all know, the WNBA has suffered for decades and is frequently seen as a league in turmoil. Despite their best efforts, nothing seemed to reverse the downward trend as the league continued to lose millions of dollars year after year. Many players have consistently voiced their concerns, with many calling for a more equitable revenue-sharing model, not necessarily equal to the NB, but a comparable percentage of shared revenue. It was almost as though their prayers had been answered. Caitlin Clark showed promise as a league game changer.
From merchandising sales to new sponsorships to television ratings absolutely going through the roof to attendance to sellouts at basketball games to all-star games with record attendance both in person and on television, it is safe to say, North America,
Caitlin Clark is a unique player who changes the game. She is one of the most exciting players in recent memory thanks to her talent, amazing range, and flair on the court. In addition to being a scorer, she also possesses leadership and playmaking skills, which had both fans and analysts excitedly awaiting her WNBA debut. However, now that she may be leaving for Europe, the WNBA will have to deal with the fallout.
However, I hope Kat Engelbert is ready for disappointment because there's a hell of a lot more of it on the way.
And the attention that she brought to a women's league and a women's side, if you will, of the sport is just, I think, hopefully going to have a residual effect for years to come.
Yeah, I think it can't be overstated enough, like what she did to bring eyes to that sport. Whether people want to admit it or not, it's just a fact.
The WNBA is having difficulty keeping up in a global market, and in the instance of Caitlin Clark, the league has lost a player who could have revolutionized women's basketball in America, even if Europe provides rich chances for female sports. The potential economic impact of Caitlin Clark's presence is one of the main reasons the WNBA will be sad to lose her. Although the WNBA's fan base has been continuously increasing, it still has difficulties competing with other sports leagues in terms of TV viewership and attendance. The league lost out on a huge chance to use Caitlin Clark's star power when she chose to play abroad rather than in the WNBA. When star players are involved, the WNBA has historically seen noticeable increases in TV viewership and attendance. For example, during Sabrina Ionescu's rookie season, TV viewership on ESPN broadcasts increased by 68% over the previous year. Just think of what Caitlin Clark, who has a larger national following from her time at Iowa, could have done for the league's ratings and in-person attendance. The league has heavily invested in marketing stars like Ionescu and A.A. Wilson, but Clark was poised to be the next big thing. Her absence is more than just a loss of talent. It's a blow to the league's revenue streams, especially as the WNBA looks to catch up to male-dominated leagues like the NBA. Clark is a player that fans would have paid to see. Her electrifying style of play could have increased engagement both in arenas and online. Clark may have changed basketball betting markets in addition to having a big influence on attendance and TV viewership. Players like Clark draw higher wagers because of their reliable scoring and well-known status.
Her WNBA rookie season complete. Let's see it. Most points by a point guard in a season in WNBA history. Most double-doubles by a rookie guard in WNBA history. Most points by a rookie in WNBA history. Most assists by a rookie in the history of the WNBA. First WNBA rookie to record 2 triple-doubles. First triple-double by a rookie in WNBA history.
But hold on, it gets even stranger.
career 10 or more assists in a game. How about that franchise record for most career 10 or more assists in a game? Fastest WNBA player to reach 100 three-pointers. She did it in 34 games. Most assists by a rookie in a WNBA All-Star game, for which she received the most fan votes ever. 700,000 of those. Fastest player to reach 350 points and 150 assists to start a season, regardless of years in the league.
Economic repercussions for Europe leagues will surely profit from this, but the WNBA is left with nothing. Beyond the financial ramifications, the WNBA will lament Caitlin Clark's departure due to the potential impact she could have had on the league's competitive environment. Clark has been compared to some of the best shooters in basketball history due to her offensive prowess, especially her long shooting range and passing talents. Just think of the matchup possibilities. The highlight reels and NBA highlight lights that would have resulted from Clark playing against the best guards and forwards in the league would have created a lot of buzz among WNBA fans as well as the entire basketball community. Concerns regarding the WNBA's capacity to retain elite talent are also raised by Clark's move to Europe. If more players view Europe as a competitive option to the WNBA, where pay is higher and endorsement opportunities are more lucrative, this could tip the scales in women's basketball. Top WNBA players have always found Europe to be a desirable destination, but losing a talent like Clark at such a young age is concerning for the league's future. The WNBA's ability to draw and maintain star power will determine its destiny. One of the most important aspects of Caitlin Clark's absence from the WNBA is the lost marketing opportunity. With her long-range shooting, excellent court vision, and magnetic personality, Clark was a player who could have carried the torch for the next generation while players like A.A. Wilson and Breanna Stewart continued to lead the league. Bringing in new talent like Clark would have ensured that the WNBA remained competitive and exciting for years to come. Clark is well liked by Beyond Basketball. She is a darling among brands hoping to reach young, active fans by traveling to Europe because of her social media presence and record-breaking attendance at her college games at Iowa. One of the most marketable athletes the WNBA has seen in years is leaving the league. With a personality as flamboyant and self-assured as her playing style, Clark had the potential to be the face of the NBA's future marketing efforts. She could have served as the league's global ambassador for the Basketball Shoes Review. Major businesses like Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour had already been watching her, and the market was already speculating about which brand would sign her first. Her decision to travel to Europe has probably changed those endorsement chances abroad by allowing Clark to travel there. The WNBA is losing out on the opportunity to increase its fan base and leverage her celebrity, which European leagues will probably gain from she will provide more visibility, but the WNBA will need to rely on current players to keep up its momentum. It could be challenging to fill the marketing gap left by Clark's disappearance, particularly as younger admirers swarm to follow her European career.
That's the concern now. Wilson with the monstrous block.
Smith, who shot just under 40% from three of this season. Stewart gets that one to drop.
Another opportunity. Over multiple defenders and off the glass. Wow. Clark launches, nails it.
Caitlin Clark's departure to the WNBA's future. The WNBA has been working hard to establish itself in the American sports landscape, expanding its fan base and increasing its attendance and TV viewership figures. However, Europe has significant ramifications for the league that go beyond the season. Undoubtedly, the WNBA has made strides in raising its profile, but its future depends on its capacity to draw in and keep top talent. In 2023, the league secured a $2.2 billion media deal, indicating that it was finally receiving the recognition and funding it deserved. However, that growth is brittle, and Clark's decision to forego the WNBA could portend future difficulties for the league. With her broad popularity, Clark could have been of assistance, elevate the league to new heights, but her choice to play in Europe might inspire other young athletes to think about making similar decisions. Why would future stars choose the WNBA if Europe offers better sponsorships, higher salaries, and worldwide exposure? The WNBA's challenge is not just to lose individual talent, it's also to keep the league moving forward and keep fans interested. In recent years, the league has been successful in marketing its stars and raising their profile, but losing a player like Clark, who has the potential to be a generational talent, could have a domino effect. If the league finds it difficult to attract new players, it runs the risk of stagnating, or as fans shift their focus elsewhere, attendance and TV ratings continue to decline, and the impact is felt elsewhere as well. Clark's action will also have an effect on basketball betting, fantasy basketball, and merchandise, among other facets of the basketball ecosystem. Sports bookmakers had already established lines for Clark's rookie season, and both fans and experts were excitedly awaiting her arrival in the WNBA. Now, those bets will move to European leagues, lowering the financial stakes that fans have in the WNBA. It's not just about missed bets, though. It's about losing fans. Clark was regarded as a top rookie, and many fans had already included her in their fantasy lineups. Her decision to play overseas means that fantasy players will look elsewhere for their picks, further diluting the WNBA's relevance in these popular sports communities. Similarly, fantasy basketball leagues that had included Clark in their projected top picks will need to adjust. The WNBA's loss of Caitlin Clark is unquestionably a blow, but the league is strong and can bounce back. First and foremost, the WNBA needs to concentrate on keeping its current stars and making sure they keep shining on the international scene, like A.A. Wilson. Diane women's basketball, Breanna Stewart, and Sabrina Ionescu are well-known figures who need to continue leading the league's marketing and promotion campaigns. Second, even though the WNBA has made great strides in raising player earnings, the pay gap that pushes players like Clark to look at Europe needs to be addressed. Retaining top talent and making sure that young stars view the WNBA as the best destination for their professional careers will depend on reducing the large salary disparity between the league and the WNBA. Lastly, the WNBA must keep concentrating on increasing fan interaction on social media and other channels. By providing more interactive experiences for fans and incorporating technology that improves engagement, whether through fantasy leagues, live betting, or virtual training experiences, the WNBA can forge closer ties with its audience. It's also important to note that Caitlin Clark's move to Europe may present the WNBA with a special opportunity. If Clark rejoins the WNBA after gaining international experience, her profile could be even higher. The growth of fantasy basketball and basketball betting has demonstrated that fans want to feel more connected to the game, not just as spectators, but as participants. A return to the WNBA as a more polished and experienced player could add even more excitement and attention to the league, while the WNBA will surely feel the pain of losing Caitlin Clark to Europe. European basketball is known for emphasizing fundamentals, team play, and tactical intelligence, areas that Clark could further develop overseas. In the end, Caitlin Clark's decision to play in Europe is more than just a personal decision. It's a moment that could change the course of women's basketball. The WNBA can ensure that it remains a dominant force in women's basketball even without its next big star for the time being by concentrating on player retention, closing the salary gap, and continuing to engage fans in creative ways. As European leagues take use of Clark's skills, the WNBA, a league on the upswing, must now face the fact that it lost a star who could have helped it reach new heights. The WNBA will have to reconsider how it plans to retain elite players and maintain fan interest.
Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark.
The basketball community is keeping a close eye on Clark, and wherever he plays, fans will follow, share, and subscribe for more basketball content and updates on this developing story. Only time will tell whether the WNBA can move past the loss of Caitlin Clark or if this decision will signal the start of a larger trend.